Hey guys, my name is Anthony and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing TSRL Round 5 Attempt 2. So if you want to see more videos similar to this and you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the like button and stick around by subscribing to the channel. So you guys may be thinking, hold on, what do you mean Round 5 Attempt 2? Well, what happened is during the first attempt, the original scheduling of the race, Xbox Live sort of messed up and it went down, so the race was rescheduled to the next week, which was the past Friday there. So we ended up doing the race again, which means that some people had a little bit more time to practice. Personally, I didn't, so I was a little bit weary coming into this because I felt as if I did have the pace, but because there was no practice put in, I didn't really know what I could do. But coming up to the line on our first flying lap, you can see we did a 1 minute 9.2, which was the fastest lap at the time, and that was actually the fastest banker lap that I had actually set from practice to this actual race here. So I was pretty happy with that lap. But then moving on to my second flying lap now, this was actually the quickest lap of the session for me personally. So what I'm going to do is leave you guys here so that you can see a lap of Zandvoort without any commentary. So check out the lap. As we come up to the final corner now, this was a pretty good lap. We did lose a little bit of time going into the end of sector 1, beginning of sector 2, and it probably could have put us within the top 4 by the end of the session. As you can see, we passed the line and do a 1 minute 9 flat, so that was a pretty good lap for me personally. I didn't think that I was going to do much better than that, and it turns out we didn't, and we ended up qualifying in 6th place, right in front of our teammate by just 17 hundredths of a second. So the strategy that we're going to be using in today's race, as you can see, is soft to hards, because we're starting inside the top 10. So we've got 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and this was pretty long 5 lights, but away we go. And at this point in the race, I just wanted to get past turn 1 and just showcase what I can do. So slowed down the car a little bit, and we did do a little bit of contact there with Dazed, but it wasn't anything too bad, and we didn't end up with wing damage from it, so that's all that matters. But as you can see, we've made it 2 corners, and we've already got Dark, who ended up spinning, and we've already got a full course safety car. So yeah, we made it about 2.5 corners, I believe, not even 2.5 corners, and we ended up with a safety car. So moving on to lap 3 now, we didn't obviously pit because it was the start of the race, the tyres are still fresh. Coming off of the restart now, Schwiz, I'm not sure how you say his name, I think it's one of those two. He ends up getting a pretty good restart on us, and we end up getting a decent restart on our teammate Ian Boy, as the Alfa Romeo and the Haas, I believe, up front are battling out for the front positions there. But as you can see, my teammate, where's he gone? It turns out he actually spun here, and I actually thought at first that I was the one who spun him out. But it turns out that he spun on his own. So what I'm going to do is show you guys the clip of him spinning from the Twitch.
I don't know, it's just a bit too far back. He's got the switch back on him now, has he? No, not quite. Oh, the Mercedes has spun. Liam Boy's spun. Ah, it's going to hurt.
So yeah, as you can see, he ended up spinning on his own, but I actually thought for most of the race actually, I actually thought I was the one who spun him, so I did feel quite bad. But moving on to lap 6 now, another incident happens where first place spins and he ends up causing a little bit of traffic there, and me and Schwiz end up passing him, which means I gained 2 free positions, and we're now in 2nd place for this race. So right now at this point, I just wanted to try and stick with Schwiz, but sadly I wasn't able to. He ended up going into the pits a lap before me, and then coming up to the end of lap 12 now, that's when I decided to respond to his undercut and pit for the hard tyres myself. And some of the guys around me, I think they already pit at the end of lap 11, and because of that safety car, I was told to pit at the at the end of lap 13, but I decided to respond to their pit and try and do damage limitation basically on that undercut. But as you can see, Swizz was just rapid in this race, and he got a huge undercut on us, even though he was only about a second, I believe, ahead of us by the time that we went into the pits, or by the time he went into the pits, I should say. And then coming out of the pits, you can see I had a little bit of slide from those cold tires. And then moving on to lap 15 now, this is when Clay lets us pass, because we weren't really in the same race. I believe Clay was currently in like a net P10 or a net P11, whereas right now we're currently in a net P2, net P3, so we wasn't in the same race, so he let us pass. And then moving on to lap 22 now, this is when the guy who was behind me, Harves, this is when he ends up going for a move, and we sort of had a little bit of a, not necessarily a battle, but I was sort of just following him for quite a long time. I decided that, you know, at this current time we have around about the same pace, and I didn't really have a lot of ERS, so honestly this was pretty much the best I was driving in terms of the mental aspect of league racing. I knew that I didn't have the ERS to really push and get out of the DRS zone too hard, so I decided to hold back, and as you can see, I just held back lap after lap, just trying to save as much ERS as I could and just stick within the DRS of Harv. And then moving on to lap 29 now.
The gap is less than a second. They're on old hards. Their tyres are 16 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 12.5. You're gaining by 1/10 a lap. They have a time penalty of 6.0. 3 seconds will be added to their time.
So yeah, I want you guys to really remember that that sort of information from Jeff. So as we move on to lap 30 now, at the beginning of lap 30, that's when I go for a move on Harv, because I felt that, you know, he was a little bit slow. He was causing me to be a little bit slower than I felt I could be at the time. So I decided to try and get out of his DRS, and also his teammate is behind us, so I thought that maybe that Harv would end up trying to slow me down and push me back towards my teammate, towards his teammate, sorry, because I did have a 3-second time penalty at this point. However, after one lap, again, we had no ERS, so I just decided to let Harv back pass and just try and follow his DRS there. And as I said, his teammate is behind us, and he's within my 3-second time penalty window, so I thought that maybe Harv was going to try and slow me down, try and push me back as far into back into Delta as possible. And then moving on to the last lap, which he never actually ended up doing. He was actually pretty quick. I'm guessing he wanted the podium just as much as I did. But moving on to the final lap now, as you can see, we make the move on Harv. I had been following him for a good couple of laps now, and I decided, no, this is the time where I need to overtake. So this is exactly what I did. And as I said before, this was probably the best I had driven in terms of the mental aspect of league racing. Since the start of F1 2020, I felt so calm. I felt as if I knew what I was doing. I felt confident in everything that I was doing, and really and truly, when it comes to league racing, you really need that mental confidence, because you can have the same pace as somebody else, but if they've got more experience or if they've got more confidence going into a race than you, they're going to beat you 9 times out of 10. It's going to cause a lot of luck for you to really get the upper hand on them if they're more confident than you. And a lot of the time, confidence comes with experience. So the more that you do league racing, the more confident you'll be in your own abilities, because you'll have that experience. And I felt really confident, so I'm hoping that moving forward, after because I am moving right now, but after I've come back and I start doing league racing again, I can really find that confidence again and really start showcasing what I can do. But as we come up to the last corner now, Dave's Rhombus ends up winning, Swizz ends up coming second, and on track we end up finishing in 3rd place. However, we still had that 3-second time penalty, and Delta ends up taking the podium by 2.5 tenths. And at this point, I had no idea that it was actually Harv with the 6-second time penalty and not Delta. So it turns out that Delta didn't have any penalties, so we finished in P4 because of our 3-second time penalty. I was confused, and as you can see me typing there in the Discord, because I was wondering how comes Delta had passed me when he had 6-second time penalties. But yeah, that's how it is. We came in 4th, which was a pretty good result for me. You know, P4 is a lot of points, so I'm pretty happy with that. So if you liked this video, make sure to hit the like button and stick around by subscribing to the channel. We just hit 2,000 subscribers on the channel, so thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers. It was an unrealistic goal of mine to hit 2,000 subscribers this year. Honestly, I just really wanted 100 subscribers, and the fact that we're sitting here now with 2,000 subscribers means the absolute world to me. So thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers, and hopefully I'll see you guys in a video shortly. As I said, I'm moving, so I'm not sure when the next video is going to be, but whenever that video comes, you already know that I'll be back with the regular F1 2020 content. So I'll see you guys in my next video.